Harriet Tubman was an American abolitionist who was born into slavery in March of 1822. She is most known for her escape to the North and freeing herself while also using the Underground Railroad, which was a popular escape route. Because she was born into slavery, Tubman had to do various things for the owners, such as care for the children, do work as a house servant, or work in the fields. In 1849, Tubman had been sent to work at a plantation which was owned by a man named Anthony Thompson. Harriet and her two brothers tried to escape from Thompson's plantation, but her brothers had second thoughts and decided to turn around, forcing her to come back with them. The second time she had escaped, she went alone, using the Underground Railroad. Tubman walked for a while before meeting a woman who helped her escape through horse carts, and soon after she reached Pennsylvania. After her arrival, Tubman eventually found work in the North, which allowed her to continue to live in the North, but that didn't satisfy her. She wanted her family and friends also to be able to experience the freedom. This is when she decided to enforce abolitionism, and then she became a conductor of the Underground Railroad. This meant that she would have to make trips south and lead freed people to the North. Not only did this risk her life, but also her freedom, which she had worked so hard to keep. The Fugitive Slave Act of 1850 really impacted her work, as this meant that she and all the people who she was freeing could be captured due to the new act. This also meant that she would have to bring people further north to Canada to avoid capture. But only being able to travel at night because of the fugitive hunters that were out seeking the rewards of their capture, it became a really slow process. And to maximize efficiency, she would mostly take trips in the spring and fall when the days were shorter and the nights were longer. Over the years, Harriet was known to befriend other abolitionists, such as Thomas Garrett and Martha Coffin Wright. Harriet used her railroad to end up freeing upwards of 70 people with around 13 trips to and from the South. She ended up freeing her parents, the elderly, and even babies, so that they could all have some life as a freed person. In 1861, when the Civil War started, Harriet found new ways to fight against slavery. She was recruited to assist fugitive enslaved people at Fort Monroe and found work as a nurse, cook, and laundress. On her trips on the railroad, she picked up some knowledge of herbal medicine, which she later used to help treat wounded soldiers who fought in the war. Later, she became a scout for the Union Army, where she provided critical intelligence to the Union commanders about Southern supply routes and Confederate troops, and also ended up liberating enslaved people from black Union regiments. She was recognized for her military contributions and was also awarded financially. After the Civil War had ended, Harriet ended up settling down with a man whom she'd married, named Nelson Davis. He was also a formerly enslaved man and a Civil War veteran. But even as she grew old, she continued to contribute to the U.S. as she had grown her own produce and livestock, which she gave to those in need. She toured around the North, speaking on behalf of the women's suffrage movements, and worked with Susan B. Anthony. In 1893, Harriet bought a plot of land next to her house and built the home for aged and indigent colored people. As she grew old, her injuries that she had in the past continued to plague her. She eventually had to undergo brain surgery, and in 1913, her life was taken by pneumonia. Even though she lived over a century ago, Harriet's legacy still continues. She has a day of celebration for all that she has done, which takes place on March 10th. Harriet Tubman has gone down as one of the greatest abolitionists and anti-slavery activists ever to live. Through all of her trips on the railroad, she never lost a life, and she's also contributed through her actions in the Civil War as a spy and other jobs. Her efforts as a women's rights activist and her ability to continue to help her community are all reasons why she should be admitted to the Hall of Fame. Harriet is recognized in many ways, with many books, movies, and documentaries dedicated to her life. During World War II, she had a Liberty ship named after her named the SS Harriet Tubman. In 2016, the United States Treasury announced that she would be replacing President Andrew Jackson on the $20 bill. And in 2021, the Biden administration announced that they would be speeding up the design process. Harriet Tubman's life is also celebrated in another way. Her life is also taught in classrooms, generally in middle school, And this just goes to show that her life was greatly impactful to the U.S.'s history.